guess I better get that huffed into the house and get to work. To check on some doors to see if some of the doors are rubbing or something, because we're gonna have a painter here. Nothing in here.
Nothing.
I found my nail bag. We just had moved and voila, I found it. It's right there. And
Oops.
My bag of goodies in there, and also another bag of goodies here. And I'm hoping I got enough stuff here to fix these doors, because I know some of these doors are rubbing, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute.
Where's the power drill that you said?
It's over here. See?
Oh, goody.
It's right here.
Well, take them over to the entire house
Yeah.
and show them the house. I'm going to run back to the apartment.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Oh, you're not going to be our tour guide? I guess I can walk through this. Because I'm going to make a couple different videos. I'm going to make one video of like a home inspection type video.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. She
right.
says I talk too much, but the more I talk, the more you learn, is what I tell people on my YouTube channel. See, I mean, the walls were pretty good, and the reason, why are we painting these walls, by the way?
I want a fresh coat of paint.
And
It's our house, it's our new house. I want it to look good.
I
I
want-
want a fresh coat of paint. It's like
I
starting
want.
on a blank canvas.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, and we did ask the previous owners when the last time they painted in here, and they said about 8 years ago.
Yes.
So, you know, usually paint, you could probably go 10 to 15 years on paint, but it does make sense. Because we haven't moved anything in here yet, now is the time to paint, because you're going to get different marks. Like that's where the TV was before, and you get different things where the pictures were before, and sometimes depending on
I'm going to bring the vacuum cleaner too.
on the sunspots, sometimes you might see an area like, see right here, that's where a picture was. See, you can definitely see the outline of it.
Turn that off for a sec. Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome
So-
to our new house.
Yeah.
We haven't even moved in yet. We're going to be moving in a couple weeks after they're done painting.
Yeah. And
So-
I'm sure we've got some.
Come back and see us.
We've got some pretty choice things picked out.
Yes, we
Don't
do.
we? A cool table for this dining room, and something that she really saw right at the last minute. She saw that and she fell in love with it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
What was that? It was something that don't say it. It's something that we're going to put on this wall over here. I'm not going to tell you just yet. We'll probably show you. Might even make a video of how I'm going to install that. I'm not quite sure yet.
Do you see how
Putting all his drop cloths down, and lots of the doors. I thought he was going to paint the doors like with a roller, mini roller or something. And he's talking about spray painting them. And he's going to spray paint them in place. I says, what are you going to do with the doors? How are you going to do that? And he goes, oh, we're going to spray paint them in place instead of taking the doors off. You know, he could take all the doors off. Then you got to take all the hardware off. You got to take the handles off, all the hinges off, take all the doors downstairs, set up, you know, set it all up ready to paint. But he's talking like he's just going to mask off the hinges and the door handles, I guess. And then he's going to spray them in place. And I thought, well, that's going to be kind of different. I think I'm going to probably get a video of that too. And see, that's the main reason why I'm coming over here first. And I'm going to check all these doors. And these are all 8-foot doors. And I'm going to look at these really close. I'm going to make a video of that coming up here. Don't worry, I'll make a video of it to show why I'm gonna fix certain doors, why I'm not gonna fix certain doors, and all that. I want to make sure all that stuff gets done first before the painters come over here. Because if I got a door that's rubbing, let's see if I can find one for you. If I find a door, I think there's one downstairs. This one might be rubbing too. I forget now. Well, if a door is rubbing, obviously I want to fix that before the painters get here. Okay, so I'm going to spend the next 2 or 3 days here, and I'm going to start making those videos here today. Actually, I'm just walking around here, kind of getting my bearings, and see, like this door here, it's not rubbing yet, but you see the gap right there? I mean, it's an okay gap, but I'm gonna look at this a little bit closer because the gap up there is smaller than if I follow this door down. See how big the gap gets down here? And when I look across the top of the door from left to right, I've got a nice gap over there, and see how it gets bigger here? See right there? Along this top, it gets bigger right there. That's because this door has sagged. It's sagged down this way off of the hinges, and you can tell that too if you look at these hinges. See how big the gap is right there? Now watch as I follow this down. See, it's smaller right there in the middle of the door. There's 4 hinges here. Here's that one. Look at the bottom of the door. So it's hitting almost. Okay? That's because, as I've said, this door has shifted and sagged to the right. That's why the gap is small at the top edge right here on the side, and it's bigger down at the bottom. So, and this goes out into a garage, and it's got a self-closing hinge on it. So see, I got my work cut out for me because I'm going to have to take this door, well, I'm going to take that hinge off, and I'll show you later, but I'm going to have to try to suck that over. But before I do that, I have to disengage that hinge. And see, self-closing hinge, see that little pin right there? I got to take that out. And I'll show you how to do all that on a different video. In fact, I got some of those videos on my channel right now, if you're interested. And see, this is four hinges. You got a self-closing hinge on the top, and you got a spring-loaded hinge on the bottom. These 2 in the middle, they decided not to do anything. And some doors, you know, if you got a 6'8" door, sometimes you'll see that you got 3 of these self-closing hinges, or maybe you only got one on the top, or maybe you only have it on the bottom, or maybe you have it in the middle only. I've seen them all different ways. This one happens to have 2, and I'm going to have to mess with that one, so that's something I'm going to have to think about. Okay, let's see. Here's a door that rubs right up there. You see that? It's rubbing. See? And you hear that? It's rubbing up there. That's one of the things I got to fix. You look down here. Look at this gap. It's almost touching. It's not touching, but it almost is. Okay? And that's weird. See down here? Look at the gap down here. It's a nice gap. That's about the gap you want. Okay? And so it's tight. It's tight right in there. And right up there, you see the gap between the doors. There's hardly anything. And in fact, when I open that door, it rubs. And I've got to fix that before the painters come. And I look up there at the top, and I look at the gap right there at the very top edge. Okay? The top edge. And I look in the middle. See, the gap is a little bit bigger right there, isn't it? And I follow it over here, and the gap goes up, down somewhat. So I know these doors are sagging in the middle, but they're still, both of them are still lined up. See the top edge of the doors? The right one is up barely, just barely, 16th, not even 16th, 32nd higher than the left one. But I know I can raise the one on the right up about a 16th. I know I can raise this one about 3/32, which is a little bit more than a 16th. Okay, up that way, right? And so I'm going to have to look at that and make some sort of decisions. And I see that I got a plenty room gap right there that I can suck that hinge over. And I'll show you how to do that. You just keep watching my videos. I've showed you before. See the gap? See how big the gap is right there? You still got a nice gap there, don't you? So I know I can suck this door over that way because there's plenty of room there. So that'll tilt this door up. It will raise it up, and then I can do that same thing with this left-hand door. It'll raise that just up a little bit. I don't need a whole lot. I only need a little bit of a gap between these doors, and voila, I get those 2 doors fixed. Okay, so that's how I'm going to take care of that. And I think I think there was an issue with one of these other doors. No, this door looks good. See that? That door's good. But I'm gonna look at all the doors. But I did notice one. Where was it? Oh, I think it's over here. It's over here. Now this door here, when I close the door, it is closing. When I open it, I can see that the latch is barely sticking out. See, when you hit that, the latch should actually be flush, and it's not. I don't know why it doesn't go in any further. And that's hitting the latch, the strike plate. And you see, even if it didn't, see how tight the door is to the door jamb? There's hardly any room there. Look at that. I mean, it's just barely enough so when they paint it, it still wouldn't rub. But I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, how can I make that better? And when I look over here on this side, there's a little bit of a gap, and there's a little bit more of a gap up there. And see, there's enough gap to where I can suck these hinges over just a little bit, all of them, by the way. That'll take this door and push it over to the left just a little bit. Do you follow me? And I can make it a little bit, and I can move it over a little bit because I still have a gap there. Had I not had a gap at the bottom, sometimes you get a door, as it closes, you'll see that the edge of your door right here maybe is tight to the door jamb. You think, well, how am I going to be able to suck the hinge over if the door at the bottom can't go over any further? And I certainly don't want to whack the door jamb over and mash it all up, put a screw in there and push it in, redo the caulking here, because you know this trim casing is not going to move over because that bottom trim, you know, can't move over. So there's no way I can do any of that. So then maybe you can't do it, okay, for the baseboard. So with this, I know that can be moved over. So I have two choices. I can take the hinge, and I've shown you this before, but you could take the hinge off. So I used to sometimes just put a galvanized 8 right there, maybe one there, hit those in there, find the stud back there, tap them in there, caulk over that. But then you see the head. I don't want to do that. So I would take these 3 screws off, pull this part of the hinge over, just open, drill a hole through the door jamb right about there and there. And then I would put in 2.5 inch or 3 inch wood screws and screw that right into the 2x4 that's behind this door jamb. Then that would suck this part of the door jamb right in here. It would kind of push that in depending where your shims are located, how tight your shims are to the back side of the door jamb. And that's why I put 2 screws in there, usually not 1. But you got to put them in fairly close there because you don't want to put them out too far because your sheetrock is from this edge over 1/2 inch. That's your sheetrock. So you can't ram a long screw right into the edge of that. So you got to kind of get it over here close and then kind of put it in at a very slight angle so you don't get just the edge of your 2x4. You know what I mean? I can do that. Or there's another way I can do it. And I've done this before, and I've shown you on video before, but if you've never seen that video, if you can imagine, you know, I take the whole door off, take the hinge pins out, take the door down, and then if I look at this, I can see that the one on the door is the one right here that sticks out there, there. So I got 3 fingers. Those are attached to the door, right? That's that hinge. So I take the hinge with the crescent wrench and tweak it just a little bit to the right. Take this one just a little bit to the right, just a little bit to the right. And if I do that, I do it just a little bit. Can you see how that, once I put it back on the hinge pin, on the hinge, put the hinge pin back down, that would take this door and push it over to the left just a little bit. I have to do that on all the hinges to get this pushed over. So I might even try that on this door too. Whatever I do, I'm gonna make a video of it, don't worry. And so see, lots of times, if the door, let's go back to this door. If the door was just rubbing, let's say this door was just rubbing at the top, and you looked over there and you saw that that hinge was tight and everything, and lots of times that hinge may not be tight. Well, let's just show you real quick, because I happen to be at this door. This is a door that goes into a little storage area where the air conditioner, the heater units are located. And they installed a fairly new water heater, which I'm quite pleased on. I think that's an 80-gallon or so, and they got it nicely strapped and everything. But anyways, they've got that in there. But I was looking at this door earlier, and I was closing it. I was like, oh, hey, it's rubbing. It's rubbing at the top. See that? And see how tight it is right there? Right up to the edge, you can see how it's rubbing. And you can also see that at the top, you got a big gap up there. But before you start thinking this door is sagging, you look at that, you think, my word, what's going on here? See the big gap right there? Right there. The hinge is not attached to the door properly up there, and that's why it's sagging. See how this one looks tight? Look at that. That's the second hinge. There's the third one down. That one's tight. See? Right there. The bottom one's tight. So when I looked at that, I looked over here. Sure enough, look at that hinge. Hey, that screw right there is loose. There's only one screw holding this door up at the top. This bottom screw's missing, the top screw's missing. Look at the gap right there next to the door. That hinge is supposed to be up there tight. It's supposed to look like that. See? Look at that one. No way that looks the same. So before I even think this door's sagging, I'm gonna have to fix that. And hopefully these screws, you know, all these screws, that screw could be stripped. These other two could have been stripped, and maybe that's why they fell out. When I put the new screws in, I might have to get some that have bigger threads without getting the head that's too big of a head that sticks out too far. And or longer screws. But see, this door is a hollow core door, and the side rail only sticks over so far. And so just because I have a long screw in there and think, oh, I'll just ram a long screw in there and I'll hit something, well, it's from about here over, it's hollow. It's only solid right about that, like that, depending. You know, some doors, if it's a solid core door, this would be thick. You could then ram a screw in there. But so I might not be able to fix it that way. I may have to take the door down. What do you think Joe might have to do to fix that? I'll take the door down, put this hinge, take that section of the hinge off, put some caulking on that. I could put liquid nails, construction adhesive on there, on the door, on the wood, and then just put this on there, tape it on there, and leave it there for the night. Or I might even use white caulking. I've got white caulking, or I could use clear silicone. I'll probably end up using white caulking because then I can wipe it off and clean it up. If I use clear silicone and it sticks out, if you wipe it too soon, it gets into the paint there and then it's harder to clean off. I would just let it goober up there or something, then it gets on your tape and all that kind of stuff. So I might use white caulking and put tape on there and let it set for 2 days. Then put it back up, and I could feasibly stick that door back up there without any screws, because then the caulking is going to hold it, or your liquid nails, your construction adhesive. Liquid nails, I call that. It's a type of construction adhesive. You don't have to use construction adhesive caulking. It comes in a caulk tube. They have different types of construction adhesive, or you could use wood glue, you know, Gorilla Glue, something like that, that goes from metal to wood or whatever. You can glue that and actually bond it right on there. And I might have to do that. Then I might have to get some screws and just put the screws in so it looks like the screws are holding it, and just put them in there, you know, snug, and don't over tighten it, because those screws will still spin, you know what I mean? Do that, and then that'll fix that door. Okay. And we were talking about these doors, and if you've got a door sagging. So if you got a door sagging and it's hitting the edge, don't make the assumption that all you have to do is fix it by sucking the hinge in over there. Make sure all these hinges are tight, make sure the top ones are tight, and do that for the reasons why I just showed you on that door. But let's just talk, let's just say this is a door that it's sagging, okay? And you've already made the determination, and you looked at this, and you've seen the gap over here, you've seen the top gap is bigger right there than it is over here. It's tight there, it's got a loose gap over there, and you know that this door, if you just take this door and lift it up a little bit, if you take it and lift it up a little bit, that's going to raise that edge. Can you see it's going to raise that edge up this way, and it's going to move it away from the edge. Okay, so the two ways to fix it is you're going to take that hinge off, pre-drill 2 holes like I told you, and you only have to do that maybe on this one hinge. Drill hole there, one up there. After you undo these 3 screws, prop it up, get this hinge pin plate out, swivel it over, drill 2 holes, 2.5 inch screws or 3 inch wood screws. Get the ones with the coarse threads, the bigger threads. Don't get the little small threads. Ram that in there, put the door back up there, and that could fix this door. Now let's say it doesn't fix that door. Now granted, this door is higher than most doors. Most doors are 6'8" tall. This one happens to be 8 feet tall, and there's 4 hinges on here. Most doors, you're only going to go 3 hinges, and on the top of the 3rd hinge, that's about where the top of the door is, about that much higher, okay? And usually you can fix a sagging door by just moving 1 hinge. Usually it's just the top hinge, okay? This particular door, because it's 8 foot tall, if you have that problem, you may have to try to suck that top hinge in, and then once you get that one, you may have to do the second hinge too, okay? I'm just talking here, I'm just thinking out loud here. So if I have that issue, I'd probably suck this one over a little bit and try to suck this one over just a little bit more than that one, if that makes sense. Or you can try the other trick, not doing any screws at all. Taking this and getting your pliers, like a crescent wrench, a small crescent wrench, and you keep watching my videos, and in fact, if I find a door like that in this house, I'll show you how to do it that way, and we'll see if we can fix it that way. Then you can tweak those hinge pins, not the hinge pins, but the knuckles, the ones that are attached to the door. You'll know that once you got to take this door down. Don't think you're going to do it in place by just taking the hinge pin out and bending the knuckles over a little bit. There's no way you can do it. The trim is in your way. Okay, it's much easier to take the door down. Okay, then you can tweak those hinges. So if I was doing that, and if this door had to be raised up, okay, I would tweak those hinges, those hinge arms, knuckles, I call them. These little parts right here, I call that a knuckle. That a knuckle from there over. Okay, I don't know what the name is. That's just what I call it. See all this black stuff here too? That's going to be something I'm going to have to clean off before the painters come here, or if I don't do it, I'll have to tell the painter. So you can see some discoloration right here. You see this black stuff here, here, and here. And see, there's some up there. Here, there's 2 little bits here. You think, what on earth is going on? Well, that's from the hinge pin swiveling back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The hinge pin hitting these knuckles on the inside. Every once in a while, over years, it throws out little bits of black. And it's like greasy stuff. Not greasy, but once you try to clean it, that stuff runs down. If you got carpet, you want to make sure you protect the carpet, and you don't want to get stuff on there that runs all the way down, like silicone spray or WD-40 cleaning. I'm going to use liquid nails. I'm going to use my favorite cleaning product to clean that stuff off before the painters come. What do you suppose that is? You've been watching my videos, you know exactly what it is. It's called Simple Green. I'm going to end up doing that. I'm probably going to have to do that, because if I tell the painters to do that, well, we didn't figure on doing that. I might not get that good of a cleaning job here, and if you don't, the next paint's not going to adhere too well on that. Okay, but back to what I was saying. For fixing this door, you bend the knuckles over just a little bit, and if you bend these knuckle pins this way just a little bit, you'll know what I'm talking about. Once you get the door down, you can see it in your mind that that's going to cause this door edge to go closer over this way by doing that. And you don't need to tweak them too much. You tweak them too much, then you have to rebend them back. So I do a little bit at a time. And what I may have to do for this door, if I had to fix this door this way, and if I tweak those hinges, I may have to install this door 3 different times, at least twice, maybe 3 times to get it exactly where I want it. But then I don't have to do anything. I don't have to try to screw the door jamb over and suck it over. Maybe I can't suck it over anymore. Maybe there's the shims on the back side are so tight that I can't push this section over. Hardly anything. And maybe when I get done with that, I think, oh, that's all I have to do. And if the door is still like questionable, if it's still rubbing, you think, oh man, how am I going to fix it? Well, you may have to do both things to this door. Now you're tweaking the hinge pins or the hinge knuckles. You think, man, I should have done that first. Maybe I could have done that. And that would have fixed the whole thing. And I wouldn't have had to gone through all this other stuff. You're just going to have to trial and error it and Video Joe it, okay? And one way or another, you'll be able to fix your doors. So if I tweak these, and I could fix it that way. So that's 2 different ways I can fix a door like this, okay? And incidentally, I have those things on my video channel already. You just maybe haven't seen all my videos. Geez, by Joe. Yeah, guess how many videos? I think I have 2,685 videos on my YouTube channel right now. But I'm fixing to put way more videos on there. So if you can't find my videos on fixing these hinges, let's say, then you're going to have to go to my YouTube channel, or if you can't find them on the YouTube channel, you may have to just know that these are coming up, and they're pretty close to this particular video where I'm talking. And lots of times you can go, here's another tip. When you're on my channel, once you get on anybody's channel, there should be a search box up towards the top of the actual channel that you're on. Don't just go to youtube.com and then put it in a search box, how to fix a sagging door, and think you're going to get my channel. You may not get my channel. You may have to go to VideoJoeKnows first. And then on my YouTube channel, if you don't see exactly where I'm at, and you can look, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can look through my playlists. And I've got lots of things all about doors or all about toilets or whatever. You think, oh, okay, hey, 275 videos on toilets? Toilet from hell or whatever I got written down for toilets are all about, whatever I'm talking about. You might be able to find it there. Or you can go to my channel, and once you're on my actual channel, in the search box up at the top, how to fix a sagging door. You just punch that in, click on there, and then what it's supposed to do is any video on my YouTube channel where I'm talking about how to fix a sagging door, however way I'm doing it, those should come up. Maybe you'll press in how to fix a sagging door, and you think, hey, wow, there's 15 different videos. Video Joe talks about how to fix a sagging door, or how to fix a crooked door, or how to fix whatever. How to patch a hole in the wall, how to paint, how to install a ceiling fan, how to install a light fixture, how to cut in an electrical outlet, how to relocate an electrical outlet, how to replace an electrical outlet, how to paint a wall, how to patch a wall, how to install a light fixture, how to walk around up in the attic. Whatever it is you want to know. And if you can't find it on my channel, just type it in the search box and hopefully you'll find it. Okay? There's another tip for you. Well, by Joe, I thought I was going to be able to do some work today, but just making these videos, that's plenty of work that I needed to get taken care of before I started working on these doors. I know the types of things I need to do now. I think I've got most of the stuff. In fact, one of the things I know I need to go to the store to get is some little finish nails, and I had some, but we just moved, so I'm not quite sure if I have any of those finish nails handy. And if I don't, I'll just pick up one little box of finish nails, 6-penny finish nails, I think, for me to get those self-closing hinges out and adjusted. And then I know I need to get 2 strike plates. The door strike plates. So I'll probably end up taking one of these strike plates out before I leave and run to the store on the way home so that tomorrow I'm here bright and early so I can start working on these doors. See you then.